Hello, everyone. Welcome to hour number 4 of Dire Party Hollow Earth Expedition. I said it right this time. Week number
Hey,
5. Um, so, how many monks does it take to chop a piece of wood, Rick?
uh, I have no idea. Otto,
Uh, five?
no, I'm not asking you the question. I'm addressing you. Uh,
Oh, yes.
Otto,
Yeah.
it is another beautiful day in paradise. You have been here for a couple years. It is indistinguishable from every other day. The sun is shining, the birds are tweeting, everyone is comfortable and
How many
relaxed.
followers do they have?
Uh, do please tell me what a typical day for Otto is like in Shambhala.
A typical day for Otto. Well, I suppose, get up in the morning, breakfast.
Yeah,
Um, After that, it gets a little hazy when every day's, kind of the same. I'm sure there's some of that meditation
Eight,
stuff. It's good.
8 ounces of high grade hashish.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
there
chewed. You
there
mean
there
you
are
chew it?
Mhm.
there
Uh,
are mind altering substances at offer in Shambhala if that is your desire.
For your cup
Uh,
of tea, so to speak.
Let's see. A good chunk of time spent trying to reconstruct laboratory equipment. He might be a few months out
several
of reconstructing his glassware.
several villagers are always amused with Otto and his insistence on maintaining his scientific pursuits in his free little hut with his free food uh, and perfect life. Why would you? But you spend most of your days trying to assemble from whatever you can scavenge a functioning laboratory space. Uh, and the prognosis has not been great. You have not made much progress. There's very little that, for example, the only metal that you can really get your hands on is gold, uh, which is a fine conductor, but doesn't make well for all of the other necessary lab equipment. Uh,
Indeed,
eh,
Indubitably.
hard to lift a crucible with golden tongs.
Yeah. Um, but then again, every once in a while, in the last 2 years that you've been here, uh, there has been three infusions of people from the outside world, uh, and each infusion of people is an opportunity to quickly steal a metal gun or some soup cans or whatever they have, uh, and get your hands on some workable metal. Uh, so you've had a couple opportunities anyway to advance the construction of your laboratory. Um,
Indeed.
you're halfway through working yesterday when there is a big commotion in the center of the village.
Well, such a commotion warrants investigation.
Yeah, you'll peek your head out of your little hut, and you will see something that perhaps chills you to the bone, or perhaps fills you with excitement. You see a group of about a dozen people in black leathery garb, uh, with bright red and white swastikas wrapped around their arm. Their guns are drawn, and they are menacing and threatening several villagers.
Hmm.
There's way too many of them for you to take, but you know you don't need to, uh, because there will be a swift response. And
Indeed.
you can see also painted on the faces of other villagers, uh, mild tension, but not outright fear.
Well, I'll keep a safe distance and observe and wait for the show to start.
The gates of the temple swing open, and you can see that a long black-haired beauty, raven-haired beauty, who carrying some sort of rapier, steps out from the rest of the group, advancing on the temple, sword drawn. And in German, first, she demands the full surrender of Shambhala from who you know to be Abbot Shaz Regal. He laughs and responds in perfect German that she best lower her weapons unless she wants to get hurt. You can see that she's about to make good on her threats when suddenly, from out of the village alleyways and other unseen places, the group of Nazis is surrounded by about 7 Yetis, which is exactly what you knew would happen.
Fuck.
And all the while, Abbot Shaz Regal smiles warmly. You can see several Nazis straight up drop their guns immediately, which tells you that they have seen Yetis before, encountered them on their way in, most likely, which is not uncommon. The leader, the female leader of the pack, at first is all confidence, but she quickly looks to the faces of her men and seeing the number of Yetis, and she'll sheathe her sword and order her men in German to lower their weapons. A conversation in German proceeds with Abbot Shaz Regal, where he invites her into the monastery, as he does all newcomers, to be their guests for dinner. And the Nazis leave the bulk of their equipment and gear there, as they have made an aggressive move in the first place. They are not per se as welcome to bring their weapons into the monastery. And this, you know, is your opportunity to scavenge something from that pile of stuff, because as soon as the Nazis are out of sight, the Yetis start carting it off.
Indeed, I'll move in. Could use I don't know, maybe if somebody has a spyglass, I could use some optics for that array I've been building. Cans, yeah, we'll just find out what I can find.
All right. Why don't you give me a stealth roll and also a perception check.
Alrighty, I'll give you the stealth first. Not too good at this one. Fingers crossed, boyos.
2 successes.
Reasonable.
That's,
And
66%'s better than most of the rolls.
It's definitely not half of 3.
True. The upper half.
Okay, pretty sure I did this one right. Yeah.
You
Damn.
have 8 perception. All right. So, the stealth roll of 2 essentially means you have time to grab 2 things before you would be otherwise spotted by a Yeti and shoot away. The perception roll of 6 means that you see everything in the pile.
I see everything.
Tell me what your human eyes see.
You can so you can have your pick of everything. You see obviously weapons. The several MP38s are left, a couple grenades, and several guns, just pistols, that is to say. Food supplies, clothing supplies, a trunk of some unknown disclosure, although you wouldn't really be able to just steal the whole trunk with any stealth, though you could open it and see what's inside. And there is just several boxes and crates sort of on wagony things that look like they're filled with, miscellaneous stuff like silverware and glasses, and if that's your preference for your loot.
Actually, I think I'll try and grab a glass or 2. Need something to boil something in. But that That crate you mentioned.
The trunk.
The trunk, yeah. I think I'm going to go for that first.
So you're going to open the trunk.
Yeah.
All right, you open the trunk, and inside is a lot of explosives.
Is a smaller trunk.
There are several flares. There's also a grappling hook.
Ooh, baby.
And a backpack that you have no idea what's in it just by looking at it. But it seems like it is something specific.
Change of plans then, grabbing the backpack and the grappling hook. If nothing
Boom.
else, that grappling hook will do a lot better of a job melting down than most of the rest of the stuff.
All right, you successfully steal both of those in a moment, in a couple moments when all the Yetis are carting something off, but they're quickly back, and you nonchalantly move away from the pile.
Do I have to roll my nonchalance? I think I could do 50%.
No, you don't have to, I mean,
At least.
Yetis are not smart enough to determine whether or not you are suspiciously nonchalant or not anyway.
But he has a really high nonchalant. It says here on his thing. It's like 12.
Bonus to nonchalant.
Yeah. And he also
Now,
has
Actually,
the nonchalant.
talent is called anti-chalant.
He has a nonchalant cap of +3, so that also helps.
Now, just to clarify, Otto, you've gotten your loot. You have free passage into the monastery whenever you want. And I don't know how you're feeling about another group of very clearly Nazis and very clearly Thule Society Nazis locating and entering Shambhala. So I don't know if you are going to attempt to stay away from that group completely or if you are very keen on spying on this little dinner that they're going to have. But whatever action you take from here, you've succeeded in looting the grappling hook in the backpack.
Otto isn't very keen on observing them too much. Anybody who hangs around, is someone he can try palling around with and talking to. But especially,
Well, they're all pretty much against their will carted in. I mean, not against their will, but they don't have much of a choice being surrounded by Yetis and then invited to dinner.
Yeah.
So the entire group goes. The entire group of Nazis goes to dinner in the monastery, which you have access to.
Yeah, Otto's not keen on heading in until some of them or any of them have decided whether or not they're going to stay.
Well, you know that decision is not theirs to make.
It's the truth.
So instead of following in on that, you will away to your hut and look over your goods. You have a pneumatic grappling hook. So it's a gun that shoots a grappling hook up, and then it's there.
Oh, that's a good one. I thought it was just like a iron anchor or something like that.
Nope,
Same
it's
here.
a full-on pneumatic grappling hook. It looks like it has 2 canisters attached to it, which you're not sure how many shots might be in a canister. It could be 1, it could be 10, or something ridiculous. And looking over your backpack, you see that the backpack is a parachute. So that is what you have grabbed.
All right.
It's a haul and a half.
You now
Well,
have a parachute and a grappling hook.
I don't expect to be base jumping or leaping out of a plane anytime soon, so the parachute might not be quite as helpful as we could have hoped. But that
Is
pneumatic
parachute
grappling hook.
parachute's probably silk, isn't it?
I don't know, what are parachutes from 1936 made out of?
I think they
Whoever
were.
does the research and answers accurately will get a style point.
Okay.
And to Google.
Away!
Specifically German, if there's a difference.
Bam. Luftwaffe. Germany imported most of its essential materials for rebuilding the Luftwaffe.
In the meantime, Otto, do you do anything else with your day?
No, not really. Just go about the normal stuff.
You're not sure what happens in the dinner in the temple, uh, but only a handful of Nazis from the dozen that went in. Only like four come out and are assigned homes, uh, and that's not something that has typically occurred.
Interesting.
You've not
By
seen.
chance, was it the same few who threw down their weapons pretty quick?
Yeah. Well, there's an overlap. Most of the people who threw down their weapons immediately are out there. You see one guy who didn't throw down his weapon right away, but he's there now too. It might be a sign of just compliance with something. If those people were just more willing to acquiesce. You see, they are no longer armed, and they are, but they're still otherwise untouched, and they are given homes, of which there are plenty to spare. And it seems like they choose actually to room with each other.
Okay.
Which
That
they are
seems a
allowed.
little bizarre, honestly. Mm.
Yeah, you don't know what that might be. I mean, you've seen couples before
Yeah.
room with each other when they come in, but you've never seen four men all decide to have the same home.
Nazis are weird, man. They like some stuff that most people wouldn't. So.
All right. That evening, I think I'll go and knock on the door and greet the new arrivals.
All right. After the monk sort of leaves, you knock on the door, and a not particularly impressive German, brown hair, not even blonde.
Oh,
What a poser! Brown-haired. He's physically fit, but he's not an amazing specimen. He's only 5'8". Standard military-looking guy answers the door, and sees you, and tell me, what are you wearing? Are you wearing vestiges from your previous life, or have you adopted the Roman guards of the populace?
After 2 years, I think I'm probably still wearing some of the vestiges. Maybe still pants, and of course, you have to hang on to a lab coat. What's a scientist without a lab coat?
Yeah.
Just another crazy homeless guy.
I know,
so-
right?
Underneath
very
the
thin
lab
line.
coat, you are wearing clothing of a German make, which this man will recognize, and in German he will, question, German. He will say, sort of, as if asking.
I'll respond in kind, say, "Ja, ich bin."
Don't speak German to me. I can't speak German. So just say that you're speaking in
I think
German.
he was saying something about your mother.
Indeed,
Those
it was
words.
about your
Yes.
mother.
The German man
I'll
is
respond
slightly
positively.
offended.
Uh,
I'll respond in the affirmative.
I did not know that there were other Germans here. He seems
Not
very
many.
uneasy in general. He just sort of like rubs his shoulder when he says that.
Rubs his shoulder.
Uh-oh.
Kind of like, like across the chest and like, at unease, I guess.
He doesn't have a +3 in nonchalance.
Apparently not. He's reading, showing it all over his face. Well, I'll just say that that I wanted to come over and say hello and greet some new countrymen.
Yeah.
Hey, don't speak German to me.
I'm not. I'm just doing an accent now. What can you tell us about this place? This Shambhala?
Remember that one
Oh,
time?
just
Uh-oh.
sorry about that. But what would you like to know? Shambhala is a beautiful place. They have everything you need and want and more. Just one small problem. Once you're here, you can't exactly get out.
Yeah, they've said as much.
So you haven't even told me your name.
Oh, so sorry. Please come in.
Ah, thank you.
Quick German name generator. German name generator.
Hans Gruber.
Yeah, it's Hans, Klaus,
Klaus von Hansenstein.
Stein.
they will. Each of the four of them will introduce themselves as a private first, and they will say, private Klaus, private Hans, private
Barry.
Jackson.
The brown-haired guy is called Barry.
Private Ichigo Smith.
Schwarzwald. Those types of.
Schwarzwald.
And they will also conclude. They will say, Private Hans.
Gunther.
And they will conclude it with Thule Society Expedition, as if that is their station.
Gotcha. I'll say, well, friends, Otto is my name. It is nice to be meeting you this evening. Yes, I live over there. Sadly, no need for the titles. I'm not a soldier.
Yeah. You can see that they have started to make like bunks in their house, and that's most likely why they room together. They're not used to having homes to themselves. They're used to living in a barracks with each other.
Friends, you can have your own house if you wish. There are plenty to go around. Just ask. Rooming all in one house. What will the neighbors think?
They tend to talk. That's all they do.
Sorry, there is much to get used to.
Oh yes, take your time. Took some time for me as well.
I must say that the news about not leaving, it very much angered our commander. And some of us are feeling like traitors for accepting the terms. The others refused and were taken away.
So if you don't mind my asking, you of course have decided to stay. What prompted your decision to stay? I know why I decided to stay, but you, why?
None of them. They sort of look sheepishly at each other, and it's a while before one of them speaks up, and he says, "We saw what those Yetis could do. They killed at least 5 of us. We had to leave almost half of our number behind just to make our escape. It seems like a futile endeavor to resist."
I think there's much wisdom in this. So, anyway, I will let you get to your settling in. Again, Otto, I live over there. So, should you need to speak with someone, feel free. Come on by. My laboratory is open at all hours. Except for 3 a.m., never come at 3 a.m. I don't know how you'd know, though. The sun always stays the same place all the time.
Yeah. They look at each other like, "Oh, okay," and they sort of give you a curt nod, and one of them opens the door for you to leave.
Ah, so gentlemanly of you. Thank you. I don't know. Stroll on out.
All right, excellently done. They, your final parting look. They're all very confused and sheepish, and it looks like they're very tired, and they're probably going to go to bed, and not particularly confident in their position right now.
Well, that's very, very good. It seems to be an indication that they're probably here against orders, not with orders, which is a good
Yeah,
thing.
and that's it. Also, I mean, there's nothing suspicious about the story that they tell either. You've never heard of people being um, uh, taken away. When your group first came to Shambhala, the rest of the expedition, those that survived and made it there, um, acquiesced. They followed along. One by one, they've disappeared in attempting to escape, such that you're the last one. But they didn't resist in in the middle of the dinner where you got welcomed. So you're not really sure this sets a new precedent for you. And as long as you've been here, that hasn't happened. So you're not quite sure where the rest of the Nazis have gotten to.
That is interesting.
But it is night, quote unquote.
Indeed, which means it's time for bed.
Yeah. So you go to bed. The next day, Otto, there's another commotion in the center of town.
This is greater than Christmas!
Wait, when is that again? I can't remember.
You peek your head out of your hut, and this time you see the group of the PCs.
Hello.
You see Apollo, Rex, Arch, and Professor Clendon out front, stammering and looking around, amazed and agag. You see them briefly stop and talk to someone. You know, they're carrying some supplies, but they also have very clearly some muscle on their team as well.
One of
They're
which is
Americans,
bleeding.
it seems. I mean, you can know an American just by looking at him, obviously.
We are pretty great. Yep.
And you, Otto, can also see that they're the new house of Germans from that group sees them and panicked. They retreat into their home. And there's some peeking out from the shutters type deal going on as they approach the temple gate and are invited into dinner by Abbot Shah's Regal. This group, since they don't resist and are not confronted by Yetis, have not left a pile of their crap lying around. However, you do know that at the dinner, their crap will be stored away, and you could potentially have an opportunity to loot some of their crap if you entered the monastery.
Sneaky beaky.
Then that's what I'll do. Although with a, stealth of 3, you
You
gotta
don't need
believe
the
in
stealth.
yourself.
You don't need stealth. You're more than welcome into the monastery. If you wait, say, for them to enter completely, the PCs will have no chance of seeing you even. Or you could follow along and try to be stealthy, or you could just follow along. That's up to you.
I'll follow shortly after they have entered.
Okay. No stealth roll required. Meanwhile, Rex and Arch, how's it going?
Hello. My legs
this-
are sore.
This statue of a man leads in front of your group up the little hill past the gate to the monastery, which, if you're curious, looks very much like a Japanese castle in its construction style. It's such that it's one tower that looks like it has many layers within it.
Okay.
With a stone foundation and a tiled and very Eastern-looking roof.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever seen a representation of a Japanese castle, you know basically what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Okay. Cool. So it's kind of similar to the stuff we saw in Shanghai, but little odds and ends different.
Well, yeah, it definitely looks much older. First of all, it looks more like the stuff in Shanghai was based off it than the reverse. Uh, he he leads you past a couple of contemplative gardens, stone, like stone, an arrangement of stones that seem ceremonial. You know, about the size of a person, and they're arranged in like a circle, and they have markings and cuts in them. A little fountain type thing. It's just a pleasant little. Everything behind the gate is just sort of pleasant and looks like it has some sort of ceremonial or artistic aesthetic purpose. He leads you up some stone steps through some wide, ornate double doors, and you are in a grand wooden hallway, which at one end has a statue of a man, kind of in the Buddha pose, but it's not a Buddha.
Okay.
It looks like it's a specific guy, as opposed to just somebody. That looks like it's a prayer hall type place. There are cushions for seating, and along the walls, I forget the word, like scones or something that carry incense.
Oh. Shit. I also forgot the word. Never mind.
Yeah. Abbot Shah's-Regal will turn to you and say, my attendants will take you to be washed and your wounds treated before supper. And you see several monks have moved in either side of your group, and they bow respectfully.
Well, if you show me a hot tub, I'm capable of washing my own body.
I
Thank you very
kind of
much.
tip my hat. I say, I point to my gaping rips in all of my clothes and the open wounds. Can we do something about this?
Yes.
Do you
Please,
guys
go with
understand
them.
me? Okay. All right, cool.
Each of you will be sort of approached by one of the monks and beckoned to follow. And you will all be led off to different rooms, so long as you don't protest.
Okay. I try to see if there's any female monks, but I kind of don't expect there to be any.
Oh, there
I
are.
follow. Ooh. Yay. The end. I
Uh,
keep following.
They're definitely both male and female. They all also wear the same black and gold of the abbot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I do an empathy check?
Sure.
Not that it's not that I'm like suspicious. It's more like it's oddly welcoming over the past few months that we've had. So 4.
Congratulations, you empathize.
You can tell
know
that the
that-
people leading you away are very
Have
much
feelings.
interested in taking care of you, and they're interested only in perhaps following the abbot's orders to be hospitable.
Okay. Then I would take full advantage of this and question them as I walk along.
What are your questions as you walk along?
How long you been here? What do the abbots normally do for dinner?
Your particular monk answers all his life, and he's somewhat. They aren't really in the habit of tracking years here. He also says, so he does not quite know how old he is.
Okay.
He looks in his prime, 20 maybe.
I have my suspicions because we were following a camp of people who were larger than the ones we fought. So I have a suspicion that they came this way, and I ask about other travelers who have come this far, potentially people in uniform.
Yes, he says, we treated them yesterday.
What happened with them, that sort of thing.
Oh, I'm sure the abbot will be more than willing to discuss that. For now, let's see to your...
Well, if you're gonna be washing my
Agreements.
crotch, you might as well at least talk to me.
He doesn't wash your
You
crotch.
say waving your genitals in his face?
He does he does produce a room that is clearly a bathroom. The bath itself is made out of beautiful carved like granite stone, um, and has a what appears to be a faucet, essentially.
I assume
Which,
made out of gold.
yep, and he manipulates it in not the same way that you would.
There's a hand sensor in front of it. I've never seen it before.
Well, no, it's more like sort of it's more like a lever thing than like a little spindly dial. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fills with water. He was like, "Allow me to take your things."
They're perfectly fine with me. No offense, I don't know you, and you haven't even answered all of my questions yet.
Well, I must insist that you disrobe for your bath. The things will be well looked after.
Some of my stuff I need to walk. Some of my stuff I have personal attachment to. I'm sure you can understand that.
You will not have much need of them for longer.
To walk? No, I assure you I will need it. I sort of...
He smiles at you. If you insist, he says, and he will leave. Arch,
Yep.
same thing happens
All
to
right.
you. You're led to a bath.
But yeah, I don't really want to give up
Take
my
things.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'll give up my clothes and all that stuff, but I want to see like, hey,
I
we have a very-
bath with my shotgun.
Well, no, I just like look. I'd like to keep at least my axe, hopefully my shotgun in the room with me. We had a very rough trip up here, as you can see by looking at the gaping holes in my torso, and
There's
I
nothing
just,
to fear here.
you know what,
You
I
may do
believe
as you wish, but there is no need.
Okay, then I'm gonna keep the axe. Just lean it against the bathtub. Just call it a security blanket, but
So you'd give him your pistol and shotgun?
I mean, I'll give him my stuff. Just I'm gonna hang on to the axe.
All right. He takes your stuff.
Worst case scenario, I run around naked waving an axe. You know, again.
Patrick Lehman, hello.
The hot bath water, which is heated seemingly from the tub itself, and not the water does not come in warm. The tub is warm, and heats the water.
Is there anything that conducts the tub?
Sorry,
Is there anything that conducts the tub to
I'm
make it
just
warm?
soaking and relaxing.
not that
I'm
you can
loving
see.
this.
It's just sort of there, and it's warm. Perhaps there's something underneath it or alongside of it.
Well, if I notice this, I'll do an investigation roll
So-
because I'm interested in how things work here. Because this hasn't been electricity, right? I mean, how is this room lit?
All right. Well,
It's lit,
well,
it's
Dave's-
lit by the open window.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's no like lighting fixtures or anything like that.
No,
While Rex is investigating, I am enjoying this tub so much you can hear my animal moans of non-sexual pleasure from 2 rooms
it's incredibly
away.
soothing on your horrible gashes.
I am just like, oh god, this is amazing. So, anyone within like a 30-foot radius can hear me loudly enjoying and splashing happily.
Well, if I hear that, I'm kind of like, okay. I'll wash up, and
All
then
the bathrooms are, adjacent to each other, so you can from somewhere, one of the rooms nearby, you can hear him. He's not the only one either. At least one of the other NPCs is enjoying himself extremely.
Doing the Herbal Essences commercial thing.
Yeah, basically.
So, yes.
Otto.
Sorry about that. Yes.
I'm trying to
Otto.
I was coughing.
Oh, now your
Yeah.
mic sucks. What happened?
What? My mic sucks now. What are you talking about?
It did for a second there.
Hmm.
You enter the monastery.
rubbing your greedy little German fingers together.
You can hear from the bathhouses that your guests are enjoying their post-journey induction, so to speak.
Splendid. All right, so I suppose I already have a pretty good idea of where the stuff's going to be taken.
Yeah. In fact, you're entering just as several of the monks are taking the stuff away from the bathrooms. they pass from the bathrooms, which are on the right, and they're heading right across the entranceway to a hallway on the left that goes down. And you know that they're going to sort of discard the stuff in a storeroom for now. Later, it'll be moved.
Okay, I'll stay somewhat nearby, and then after they come out of said storeroom area, I'll head there.
All right, make a stealth roll.
Oh, this is going to be beautiful. Let's see. 3d2. 2.
Hey, not bad.
Hey!
Again, you will have the opportunity to nick
Damn.
2 things before anybody shows up. Give me that perception roll as well.
Certainly. Sorry about it taking me so long. I'm still
just press
figuring
up.
out the system.
You can press up on the keypad and it will
Well, you
redo
can press
the...
up twice, and that
Yep.
but
Really?
Yeah.
don't get involved
Mhm.
with that.
It's
Perfect.
okay. I forget to do that all the time too.
Wow, exact same rolls again. Yeah, you can see all of the stuff they have. So you see a shotgun, a pistol, a grenade. You see Tommy guns and other pistols. You see a whole bandolier of grenades.
Wait, what? Oh,
Yeah,
did not know that.
That's from Had It, probably.
yeah.
Okay.
You
Also see big old Yeti paw in there too, and a bunch of whiskey.
Yeah, there's a backpack that has a Yeti paw in it, as well as
Freshly
a med
hacked.
kit and some other miscellaneous whatever Arch has.
Now, here's a quick question for you, Wreckage. Do I suspect the Yetis to be non-scientific in origin?
I mean, you could have observed them for the entirety of this 2 years, and the only thing that you would know is that the monks control them, and they come and go from the valley freely. And they appear to be, when they're not being controlled by the monks, they appear to interact with each other as if they have some sort of basic social order. So they're not mindless. But they do follow the orders of the monks here.
Okay, no reason to keep to take the Yeti paw then. Well, then in
There's
that
also
case,
a trunk filled with what looks like books and research notes from most likely. I mean, this is pretty common. The archaeologists that tracked down Shambhala in their group, that sort of thing is most likely what you're seeing there. You know, tent stuff, food stuff. Again, the miscellaneous sort of supplies if you're just looking for scrap, that sort of thing.
yeah, probably just going to go for some of the miscellaneous supplies, mostly the metal stuff.
Yeah, you can get a bunch of things, especially from the professor's gear. He actually does have like a magnifying glass.
Oh, hells yes, magnifying glass. Totally going all in on the professor's gear.
And you get some glass and metal silverware and cookware as well. And that's what you can pilfer from this group.
Apollo has a really nice dinner set that you can take.
Like China?
What was it exactly? Do you remember, Rick?
Oh yeah, Apollo had Apollo has like British it's basically China. It's like tea and China set in a velvet box. Velvet lined box.
Tea. Yeah, leave it to the Brit. I'll leave that. I'll go with the professor's stuff and pilfer that.
All right, yeah, you can get so you get a magnifying glass and some silver and glassware,
Perfect.
and you bail just before the any monks would notice you. Do you stick around the monastery, or do you go straight back to home?
I'm going to go straight back to home. Since I can come and go at the monastery as I would like, I'll go back home to deposit my acquisitions, and then maybe come back to snoop around a little bit. I'm not so concerned about Amerikaners.
All right. You guys are enjoying your bath, and after a period of time, time passes oddly while you're in the bath, just because it's so refreshing and you lose track of time.
Is there a way? I was actually gonna ask if there was a way that I could clean myself quickly and investigate the area.
I mean, just the room.
Well, leave the room and go out. Like, I just want to know if that's possible. But if you say it's like there's something that's keeping me here, then that's fine too.
Well, no, just really you don't have all that much time.
Okay.
Frank, Archie.
Yep. I'm just having a blast in the bath, and then I'm gonna come out and probably throw on whatever clothes I can find, or just wander around naked.
You heal 2 lethal points of damage in the bath.
Oh, sweet. I missed that one. Hey, I'm up to 5 health.
You all
Out of
hear a
7.
knock at the door after a period of time, and the door opens, and it's your attendant monk, and he has like what looks like a beautiful silken white robe, and he will place it on a table in the room and turn and leave again, and you each get such a robe.
I would have put on my previous, like, basically the way that I would want that scene to happen, Rick, is he knocks on the door to enter, and I'm already, like, dressing in my current stuff back up. If that makes any
Well,
sense?
your current stuff
camping,
smells
smelling,
and reeks,
yeah.
and basically undoes your
That's fine.
having bathed.
That's
but,
fine. Like, I'm still putting it back on because there was no other clothing in the room, so...
he will deposit the bathrobe and leave, and you all experience the same thing.
All right. Well, I put on the robe and stick the axe through the sash.
Yep.
And then, all right, I'm gonna follow the monk out, see where he goes.
Your individual monks will lead you, and they will lead you upstairs past the bathhouses to what appears to be it's a room with 3 long tables that have seats adjacent to them, and the middle table, has been laid out with a vast feast. Abbot Shaz Regal is sitting at the far end, waiting for you to join him.
Anybody else? Anybody else there yet?
Yeah, well, your entire group is done. Everybody has chosen to wear the robes except for Rex. Balaclava Benny's still wearing his balaclava.
Under his robe.
He bathed in it. It's part of him.
Hand knitted. Yeah.
And
Still
Henry the home run haddock has put on his painted suit over the robe, so that he's still wearing his numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, everyone has chosen to don the robe, and rejoins or sits down to eat, unless there's any objections from a PC.
Nope.
So it's just us, nobody else?
What do you mean?
I mean, we were following Nazis coming in here. I just want to... Oh,
There's no
it's
Nazis
just... So
here.
okay, it's just us and the abbot. Cool. All right.
Okay.
I'll sit as close as the abbot as I can.
I mean, yeah, so it's a long table. He's sitting at an end seat, so you can literally sit right next to him.
I will. I'll make it
side
obvious
seat.
that I'm going up to that seat and sitting there.
Well,
Takes the spot right next to the abbot so as to maximize his offensive odor to the important people.
Yeah, and he pushes all the other chairs away so nobody else can sit next to the abbot.
Perfect.
Well, I don't notice the smell. I mean, I've been in those skins for a while now. So
I think you'd notice the
you'll
smell
notice after you
coming out of the
bathe
bath.
immediately.
Yeah,
Like it's crusty.
unless you don't
and
have a nose, you'll
the
notice
clothing
frickin-
is formed to the same shape as when you were wearing it. And
that's fine.
Some
yeah.
amount of the academic's blood on your clothing still.
Yeah, it actually stands up when you put it in a corner without clothes hangers.
Look,
Totally.
Out of
Just
all
so
of this,
crusty.
out of all of this stuff that I could be suspicious of a place filled with gold and where everyone's jumping around happy, and where the Nazis came in here and disappeared. Yeah, I'm suspicious. Sorry for being suspicious.
Well, I got my axe. Worst case scenario, I go down swinging.
Yeah, that's true.
Balls flopping free underneath my robe. At least I get to go comfy.
So what are we eating, Mr. Wreckage?
There
Venison.
is anything you could want. there's many side dishes, rices and sauces, beans, even potatoes, steamed vegetables, soups, even. And then there's main dishes of like a smoked salmon platter and like Archie said, a venison, white meat bird of some kind is laying out, and something that looks a lot like ham.
All right, so here is what Rex would eat. He would get potatoes.
Uh-huh.
He would get steamed beans, nothing else, and then he would go for the reddest meat that he can, and that's all he would eat.
All right, you'll get venison then. That's the red meat on offer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a soldier, man. You get a good meal, you don't pass it up. I'm getting as much as everything as I can stuff in my stomach.
Uh-huh.
So,
Otto, by the way, if you wish to join them for dinner, you will arrive just as they're sitting down.
I will, actually.
All right. As you enter, Abbot Shazragal will say, Otto! So good of you to see. Or, so good to see you. I'm getting tired. So good to see you. Welcoming new visitors once again.
Yeah, indeed, Abbot. May I join you for dinner?
Yes, please, join us.
And I'll go ahead and dish myself up, some rice and stuff, and have a seat at a vacant spot.
So, Abbot Shazragal says, as you begin to eat, I'm sure you have many questions.
Yes. The first that comes to mind is what happened to the Nazis that we were tracking through here? They obviously came through here. I don't see any evidence of them. Yeah, German, strict uniform, that sort of thing. There would have been a, potentially a raven-haired woman with them. Would have stuck out like a sore thumb.
They came through yesterday.
Interesting. And
when he says raven-haired woman, I pipe up. I kind of interrupt. Say, hey, keep away from that sword. We saw her single-handedly kill quite a few people with it. She's dangerous.
Well, they were not as compliant as you have been. Some number of their group had to be restrained. The others have joined us in the village, as you are all welcome to do now as well.
I kind of now I'm on my. Once I hear the word compliant, I'm kind of wait, compliant? What do you mean by compliance?
Well, they attempted to shoot up the village.
Oh, yeah, okay. I go back to eating. That makes sense.
As I mentioned before, Abbott, we're here for a reason.
Yeah, well, other than to find the paradise of Shangri-La.
My paradise is a glass of whiskey and a cigar.
With some slow jazz and tobacco-stained walls.
I'm not interested in golden lined riverbeds or any of that assorted nonsense. I'm here.
Well, if it is whiskey and cigars that you're after, we have both.
It was a figure of speech, mostly. We're actually here for two reasons. The first is those Nazi fellows you ran into earlier. We need to know where they are. They have something of ours, and we need to take it back. The second reason we're here is we've been asked, and you know what? Actually, I don't really care that much about it. But we've been asked to acquire something, and maybe you can help us find it. And once we have both of the things, we'll be out of your head.
I kind of kick Dave under the table and give him a.
Who's Dave?
Sorry, I kind of kick Rex under the table. I don't aim for a shitty leg, but I give him a shut the fuck up face.
If you're sitting on my right, which you probably are because on the left is the abbot, then yes, you did hit my shitty leg.
Well, he can also be across from you.
That's true.
Yeah, I thought I was thinking across.
All right, then.
But yeah, so I kind of kick you on the table, and I give you a face that says "Shut the fuck up, we'll talk later," which I don't think you can understand, but I've got my fingers crossed you might be able to.
Well, we will be happy to accommodate you with whatever reasonable requests you have. Unfortunately, the part that I am less able to assist you in is the leaving part.
I put a whole potato in my mouth and I start chewing it, and I look at him as I'm doing this.
While he's masticating loudly, I kind of stare and I say, unwilling or unable?
You see, Shambhala is a powerful and unique paradise, squandered away from the rest of the world. The secret of its location is of paramount importance to our order, and therefore the price of entry is you are not allowed to leave.
The price of entry was that stupid little ringabout that we did at the other temple.
Will you frickin'... I kick Dave again.
Who's Dave?
So I whiffs at the imaginary person sitting next to me. I kick Rex again.
You only get one attack per turn, good sir.
We aren't doing turns. I got 2 feet, man. I'm dual wielding these under table kicks.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
I kick Dave again, and
Who's Dave?
fucking hell. All right, that's 4 kicks.
He's tired
now.
right now,
kick
Dave.
Rex
Let
again.
up.
Yeah, I kick Rex again, and I say, Abbott, we would love to speak. We'd love to speak to you more about this in a later date, but we have made a long, far journey. Our bodies have just gone from crazy altitude cold to hot, wonderful baths. I would love to talk to you about this after we've had a night to sleep off our weariness.
Yes,
stammer
well,
like that,
enjoy
too.
your meal, first of all. And second of all, you will be led to the village where there are plenty of homes, one for each of you if you wish. Take your pick. Find a warm bed, and,
What is the
well, you
reactions
may
of...
find it slightly hard to sleep. The sun never sets here.
What is the reactions of the rest of the party and of the new person at the table?
Well, I don't know, Otto,
New
what is
person
your
at the
reaction
table
to...
just, Otto just takes it in stride. He doesn't, probably hardly even looks up, aside from probably obviously interested in what your objectives were, but all the stuff, he's heard it before.
Okay. And what is
The NPCs are whispering to each other. Balaclava Benny is whispering to the home run Haddock, and the 4 mafiosos are whispering to each other. Clendon is it almost looks like he didn't even hear. He's just like looking around constantly, shoveling food in his face and examining his surroundings. Maybe he heard and maybe he doesn't care, or maybe he didn't hear.
Well,
I'm kind of just of the opinion that we can make plans and all this stuff later without, telling the abbot we're going to be making plans to escape and or steal shit. So, and I'm trying to tell that to Rex mentally through eyebrow raises and wide-eyed angry faces, but I'm pretty sure unless he can get a really good empathy or something, he won't figure out a damn thing I'm saying. So, we'll settle for kicking him when he looks like he's about to say something that gives away a plan. Other than that, I'm just kind of like,
Unless you ask him any more
relax.
specific questions,
Yeah.
the meal will conclude, and attendants will come to help you choose out homes in the village. If anybody wishes to live with anybody else, that's more than welcome. However, all of the mafiosos choose their own home, as they are very excited, perhaps, to have their first home.
okay.
True.
My
I'm gonna grab
intention-
Rex.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, if it comes time to get homes, I'm saying, hey, I'd rather not be by myself in a place that could potentially be hostile.
Yes, sure. That is
So-
perfectly fine. I have
Okay.
something I need to attend to first, though. And my legs are sore enough without you being there, if you catch my meaning.
Gross. No, I don't. I completely miss your meaning, but I'm assuming it's something creepy and weird. So I'm just like, yeah, you do that.
Very good. If I see
So-
Otto leaving, I'm going to stalk him and see where he lives.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I mean, it's not even hard. Otto, I assume you leave at the same time as their meal is done.
Oh yeah. Do you mind if I try perceiving if I've got a shadow?
Yeah, you're definitely allowed to do that. Why don't Dave, you give me a stealth, and Otto, you give me a perception.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to beat that. Let's just put that out there.
Damn.
But this is mostly like my intention here is to work out where you live so I can approach you separately.
Yeah, well, the cripple is following you, Otto.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. Stalking is not necessarily making it not obvious that I'm following you.
It's no worries.
Yeah.
When we get, I don't know, I'm going to get reasonably close to where I live, and then, how far back would Rex be following me?
Well, he's crippled, so.
I mean, as long as if you're taking a pleasant stroll, he can keep up just fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
So,
take a
Saying you go
pleasant-
faster than a snail's pace, you're gonna kind of lose them.
yeah, pretty much.
I'll take a pleasant stroll so that he can keep up, and when I get pretty close to the house, and he's reasonably close as well, I'm going to give a big old wave and smile, and wave him on over.
I'll make my way up to him. Otto, was it?
Yeah! Good evening, it was, I don't believe I caught your name.
Yes, it's Rex.
Rex! Nice to meet you, friend! So, what can I do for you this evening?
You're an oddity here. I want to know more about you.
Oh, I'm touched. My name is Otto.
Yes, you said.
I come aus Freiburg. Otto Schultz. Always forgetting the last name.
What are you wearing right now, out of curiosity?
I'm wearing some older German clothing and a lab coat.
Okay.
It's probably got a couple of tears. It's
Yeah.
an off-white now.
you would not necessarily be able
Patches.
to recognize it as German.
That's fine.
Clothing.
But the lab coat's interesting. So
Yeah.
As you start to talk, I like raise a finger and I'm just like, you look like a man of intelligence.
I'd like to fancy myself as one, but doesn't everybody consider themselves to be a person of intelligence?
I scratch my chin at that. I'm like, I wouldn't say so.
You need new friends, sir.
Friends are the least thing that I need in this world. That's for damn sure. But I am interested in why you're here. This doesn't seem like a place for a man of intellect to do research.
And why? Well, you might be right about that. It is very tough to do research around here. It's tough to get your hands on proper materials. But there's few places on the planet that are more interesting than this place right here. Consider just the baths that I'm sure that you took a bath in. How were they heated? Who knows? Someday
yeah,
I
that
will.
did strike me as odd.
So, you're welcome to come inside if you like. Have you picked out a home for yourselves yet?
I feel like I've already been assigned a roommate, if you catch my meaning.
Well then, come on in. Is that your blood on your clothing there? There seems to be quite a lot.
No, it is not. And I walk into his house. I feel like that's probably a good spot to leave it, Rick, if you feel like.
Yeah. So that will be the ending of the session.
Yeah.
We've lost 2 players. Derek has died, and Apollo has decided that he will live in Shambhala without protest or clandestine plan.
As far as he knows, he's the best boxer in this entire world now.
Well, probably. Who knows what the monks know? They seem to know all the languages. So their breath of wisdom may surpass even him in boxing.
That's true.
we have gained a new player in the absence of our two ones, Otto Schultz, who has a exceptional German accent.
You are too
that's
kind,
definitely-
sir.
Phew.
Uh,
I'm tipping my imaginary hat towards the accent, sir.
Yeah, it's it really suits the character actually. Yeah, I didn't think you'd bring that to the table. But good
Oh.
job.
so
'Cause-
we
'cause
will,
with,
we will end here.
Yeah, because with Apollo, it was like, imagine I have a British accent. Like, okay, like,
Nice.
yeah.
So let us end here.
Mhm.
XP will be sent to you later.
Yeah.
For now, it is midnight. I have to go to bed.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. So
Good night.
Good night.
let me just thank everyone who's watched us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having everyone here. Not as big as our usual crowd, which is kind of a little, we'll get there eventually. But
We did just come off unscheduled breaks.
That's
so I'm
true,
sure
yeah.
That's always a problem.
So if you enjoyed what you saw here tonight, please give whatever channel you're on, be that Hitbox or Twitch, a follow. Then you'll be notified when more of this dumb stuff happens. You can catch the next Die Party game, which will be this Saturday at, I believe we're starting at 4:30 PST, if I remember correctly. And that is a long-running one, much longer than Hex. I think it's in its second season. It's in its 9th week now, coming up. So that's really exciting stuff. We will actually have a new player for that as well, which is fantastic. His name is Brian. He's a returning veteran to the Die Party scene. Maxion, you wanted to do a shout out? Now's the time.
Yes, I will do a shout out to myself.
Yes.
How incredibly vain of me. I
Nice.
do older games on Twitch every so often. Also do plenty of stuff from Android tablets. It's mostly what my YouTube stuff is about. And yeah, I'm just excited to have a group to play some role-playing with. Even if it's not Dungeons & Dragons.
Where can they
Awesomeness.
find your stuff? Like, what's the addresses?
On Twitch, I'm Maxion, and on YouTube, I'm Maxion as well. There's a stupid wrestling group by the name of Team Maxion. Ugh. Bunch of lame guys. I'm considering trademarking the name so I can get rid of them. But,
You could
yeah,
also
it costs money.
you could also fight them in the arena and go for pinks.
I
Great
could, but if
great
there's...
thing about wrestling is that they don't actually hurt you.
That's a good point. However, I wouldn't say I'm a coward, but I am incredibly careful about my own physical well-being. I don't know if I'd risk it.
Is it a fake wrestling group or a real wrestling group?
I honestly don't know. All I know is that if you type in Maxion, I come up first, and then like 3 or 4 down, there are a bunch of these guys who look to be like $1.50 soaking wet and fancy themselves as wrestlers. So
Actually,
fake, real, who cares?
You laugh, but the little guys tended to fight the hardest. They always felt like they had something to prove.
Eh,
It's the bigger guys that could kind of slide by on just.
Anyway, that's what we'll be leaving off.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Hang on, I'm not done yet. So if you enjoyed wreckage, if you enjoyed the what you saw here tonight, there is over 100 hours of Die Party archives over on the YouTube channel. If you look down in the description below, and just below where this video is, you can find a link to that. It's Hensicle on YouTube. It's hard to write. I'm sorry about that. I didn't think ahead when I made it. So that's why you should take the link there and give that channel a subscribe as well. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you had fun. We'll be back next week at 6 p.m. PST for more Hex on Thursday. And as I said, this Saturday, another Die Party game, Blood Juice. Make sure you tune in to see that as well. All right, guys, we out of here. Peace.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Later.